Joe Makwaba a FunnTV GH so and FunnTV GH and a Fun GH a man say Yaje Embre say the abeja for a bebo area a Ghana a political highway so no so the echo a headlines and a trending news no your mabo area now asana a bebo area is headlines in the trending news or highway so no but subscribe to a FunnTV GH abeja for subscription now was share no for so inside at me account so no matter the echo so my Ghana a amadu sebu na nsɛm na aba a highway no so ɛyɛ nsɛm a nan wanda easy ɛkache media for say yɛto aba hwɛ na obia antu ne nan amfansi polling station bia senka ɛbɛboa ayɛ MPP amanyɔkuo no so metimi arege election no na pasar reverse saa nsɛm ya ɔkan ɛnam ɛwɔ nsɛm a former EC boss Ora Farijan straight warning there or the man J.Mensǎh say so per se peaceful election there I just say offer a media for no Emma almost so ebebo nechidom better say bejembre na eti sanse mi medase
in that indication. The Electoral Commission, again, I'm talking about trust in the Electoral Commission. And this is not an attack. These are legitimate questions. If I go to a polling station to go and misbehave on election day, the presiding officer will ask the security man there to say, this gentleman is disturbing the peace here. He's disturbing everything we have here. Pick him up and go and keep him at bay. Yesterday, did the presiding officer at any of the special voting centers take interest in this matter? No, I'm asking a question, a simple question, because then the presiding officer does not have boss, and that presiding officer should not be anywhere close to our elections. Because the presiding officer's job is to ensure that there's law and order. What happened there was lawlessness 101. Has the Electoral Commission itself said anything about it? I told you that the Electoral Commission has been concerning itself with things that does not concern it and arrogating powers that does not belong to it. Find me the Electoral Commission's notice on the tags. This was issued on the 2nd of December. And the Electoral Commission seems to have adopted a certain posture of give me, I won't give you, give me, I won't give you, give me, I won't give you. Eventually they say, oh, we have consulted, we will give you. Do it, I won't do it, do it, I won't do it, do it, I won't do it. Eventually they say, oh, we'll do it. So what is the essence? This is dated the 2nd of December. EC issues revised media accreditation for constituency and regional coalition centers. Following internal discussions and consultations with key media personalities, the Electoral Commission is pleased to announce to the media and the general public that media persons assigned with photo accreditation to cover polling stations will be able to use the same accreditation to cover constituency and regional coalition centers. Well, why? From Saturday, 7 December 2024, media persons can access constituency and regional coalition centers using their photo accreditation cards issued by the EC. The EC is desirous to maintain the highest level of transparency and accountability in its operations. The revised media accreditation aims to provide media personnel with greater flexibility and access to key election centers. This commitment is to ensure that the media can effectively cover the electoral process, and this change reflects that commitment. Arrangements for media houses to the National Coalition Center will be announced in due course. Electoral Commission, transparency and accountability in motion. Thank you. Signed by Benjamin Bano Bio. He's the Director for Electoral Services. And this earlier announcement that we will not give you up and access to the place was not made by Mr. Bio, but when it came to the damage control, they have pushed him to come and use his face to collect the shame. Did you ever, and somebody wants to equate this EC that we have to that of Dr. Kweju Afarijan, the Venerable? Did you ever see Dr. Afarijan doing these flip-flopping situations? You didn't see that. And already the flip-flopping in 2020 is on the minds of the people. Declare results, come back to redeclare, declare, come back to redeclare, tabulate results and let them go beyond 100%. It's still fresh in people's minds. It is still fresh in people's minds that the Electoral Commission currently, as we speak, has MPP known people on the Electoral Commission. It's still fresh in the people's minds. And so when these things happen, and I've not seen any election where journalists come and say, we want to observe. We have media pluralism. There's a reason we decided that we're not going to have just GBC, but we're going to have media pluralism in this country. And the man who is president of the day, who appointed our current EC and all those other people, including the party people who are there, is the man who started to say, we have repealed the criminal libel law, I'm the media champion, human rights champion, etc. So why is this happening? Why the flip-flopping? And the Electoral Commission is concerning itself with things that does not concern it, arrogating power that they do not have. Look, yesterday a journalist went to the polling station at Tema East. Find me that video. A certain Edward Graham Bill, I spoke with him. He had put his name on the special voters list because you apply for it and you indicate. And then there is also what you call it, a Schedule 4 in CI 127, the Electoral Commission's own law governing the conduct of the elections. I think Regulation 32 or so. That says that if you are on the special voters list and you do not get an opportunity to vote yesterday, which was special voting day, mark yourself and count yourself out. Which means that the Electoral Commission has disenfranchised you, not because you asked them so to do, but because of their own clerical errors and because of their own incompetence. The same Electoral Commission that disqualified political parties and candidates for clerical errors, so they are now disenfranchising people. Listen to the gentleman. I vote in the Tema East constituency, so today I was expected to have voted at Community 1 police station there. That is where the center is for the special voting. And so, having gone to the office myself to go through the formalities for the special voting, I was confident in the morning when going there that my name will be on the voters' roll, so I could exercise my right. I go to the center and then they look through, my name was not found. I have to ask why I came to your office. It was not as if I submitted names and that was it. I came to the office and then they submitted my name, gone through whatever I was supposed to go through. Why would my name not be on the special voters register? And then I was told that is it. My name is not there. They could not give any further explanation to why my name could not be found on the register.
Did you check other polling stations, the designated special voting centers, if you could find your name there?
Very good. Exactly. I did. And so I decided to, when the list came, the special voting list came, I went through, I didn't see my name. So I thought, well, I could go to the center today and then have that done. So by going there, I first and foremost passed through the Tema Central Police Station. Right. Because on the day, the electoral officer told me that I was assigned to vote at the Tema Central. That's Community 8, the police station. And so this morning when I was going, I thought, this could be a mix-up. Let me pass here. So I went to the Tema Central and then they went through. My name was not there. They tried to use the machine to see maybe perhaps my name wasn't on the register, but they could use the machine to detect my name. That could not be also found. And so I said, okay, then yes, my center is Community 1. Let me go there. When I got there, I went through and submitted my name, and then they looked through. My name was not found. The officer has to go through several times. My name could not be found on the voters list. And so when I raised it, they could not give me any tangible reason as to why I came to their office to apply for special voting, yet my name could not be found on the voters register.
We have just looked at CI 127, some of the regulations in there, which states that if you do not vote today because you had applied to include yourself in a special voters list, you cannot vote on election day. Simplicity up, you have been disenfranchised by the system. How do you feel?
Yes, exactly, that is it. If you say this, so in effect, it means if I apply for special voting, now my name will be on absent list. By effect, it will not appear on the general voters roll.
Right.
And so when I went there today and my name could not be found on the voters register, I was frustrated. Why? Because I believe this is the time I should also add my voice to whatever decision Ghanaians will want to take for this year. So if my name is not there, yes, through somebody's, whether deliberate or negligence, my name
it cannot be found or could not be found on the special voting list. And then if it is not found on the general voters register per the CI, it means EC has disenfranchised me, and I will not take that lightly.
When you say you will not take that lightly, how exactly do you mean? Are you going to sue the Electoral Commission? Are you going to picket at the Electoral Commission? What are you going to do?
Exactly, I am considering that because one, I spent time to come to your office to go through the formalities for special voting. Now, I came here today, my name is not on the register. When the day the D-Day comes, which is 7th December, and I come and you tell me my name is not on the general register because I applied for special voting, it means something went amiss somewhere, and I'm considering taking that action. You cannot disenfranchise me when I did what I had to do to be eligible for voting.
Mentally, how has this affected you?
Well, yes, it is affecting or it has affected me. I am not a happy person at all, I must say. I am not a happy person at all. I'm looking at this. If this is happening to me now, what about other people? What about, let's say, the ordinary person who may not know anything about elections in Ghana? I am just envisaging what may be happening on that day. I am pissed. I am pissed. And as I am standing here, I am just praying on hoping that yes, once my name is not on the special voters list, right, we should assume that maybe my special voting application did not go through and that my name will be found on the general register. So no matter how, I'll be able to cast my vote on the TV wherever I have to go to cover my elections. That one.
There's more later at 3 p.m. on TV3. We call it Ghana Decides, and myself and Helen Apiampo for host that show. But you heard the journalist, Edward Graham said he applied to the Electoral Commission.
So like Media message over drop your like now, subscribe to our subscribe to FunnTV GH. Said they be daily updates no bright be go highway so now it is a mere camera say and some easy and I said Janaya or shares and could be media for no at free December election and I said December but one they meant me one se pan and catches a bit me at the abre and I said do we any pan and kebebre on my and so and some a year over a year afarijan at the 2 jar if I send me on ama let me I reverse a year the Genesia Usi or December December 7th no. Must say about 2 so near tears and that's it.
He followed the rules. He gets to the polling station. His name is not in the register. He could not vote yesterday. Per the CI 127, it means that if he did not vote yesterday, his votes are shit. These are the things I want the Electoral Commission to concern itself with. And let nobody come and tell me it's just one person. It's just an isolated case. Let nobody come and spew that nonsense. One vote is all you need for somebody to become president of the republic. 50% plus one vote. One vote. So let nobody come and spew nonsense that it's an isolated case. No. Every vote must count. Once upon a time, we used to have let my vote count in this country. There are 2 things I'll talk about, then we'll wrap up. Show me the videos from Ayawaso West Wogon. Lydia Sarah Malasan, who's the incumbent on the ticket of the MPP, seen sharing stuff to persons who are now going to vote. Gainfully employed officers who are wearing uniform and security personnel. Put a video up there. Now, again, I ask the question. The presiding officer at the polling station who is hired and trained with our money, and they told us that they went through the best of selection processes. What did the presiding officer say? Does the special prosecutor consider this treating or vote buying, as is commonly called? The law says treating, but vote buying. Does the special prosecutor consider this as treating? What was the essence of giving the people whatever it is that was in the bag before they cast their vote? Was it to influence their decision? Couldn't it have waited after they had cast their vote? And as it still says, this is how sometimes we sell ourselves cheap. Because you are taking a down payment for whatever, if the individual wins, you have already taken a down payment for what should be yours. So you have taken it. They have eaten, but they are putting the oil on your lips. You can't speak up. You can't say anything. And I ask again, the Electoral Commission officer, the presiding officer, what did he have to say about this? Again, it talks about trust for the Electoral Commission. No, I'm just asking a question. Prison officers in uniform, lance corporals, corporals, sergeants, Jesus Christ. So we have got, so on election day, if another candidate decides that, oh, there are people in the queue, I want to go and give all of them cocoa and koshe, will the presiding officer then speak up? If somebody comes and say, I want to give everybody a bar of chocolate, I'm the candidate for cheddar or movement for change or NDC or MPP, I feel moved. I want to give everybody in the queue who is voting in my constituency a bar of chocolate. Will the presiding officer stop me? This is what I want the Electoral Commission to concern itself with. How people are disenfranchised through the system, how people are sharing food, how people are voting and taking photos, and the Electoral Commission is not talking. I want the Electoral Commission to concern itself with those things and not necessarily come and tell us that if you have a certain accreditation, you can't visit a certain powers that they don't have. Then they take and put on their chest. Bossman Asari and then they put on their chest, and then they put the powers on their chest. Powers that they don't have. Meanwhile, the powers that they themselves, the CI was proposed from them, they brought it to us. They brought the CI to us. We didn't hold a gun to anybody's head. They brought it and they insisted. At some point, they even wanted us to vote with our Ghana card. So how do they get it wrong? And how do they still sit pretty? What happened in 2020 where we declared, redeclared, over-declared, under-declared, sub-declared, side-declared, Santo Kofi Akpafu Lolobi were told on the eve that they can't vote. That those things will not happen again, no, because it will make nonsense of the peace pact that was signed. Alan Tremanti will not sit down for that to happen. So too will John Mahama not sit down. So too will Cheddar not sit down. So too will Kofi Granting not sit down. So too will Hassan Ayaga not sit down. They will not sit down and watch you for those things to happen. So open your eyes, boing me, blamoing me. Put up the notice for the University of Ghana lecturers. They've been speaking. We'll just read that quickly. Shadrach, give me a few, it's just 2 minutes. We'll read it and then we'll wrap up. Expand it for me so that we can read it together. And is an open letter from the University of Ghana lecturers, some lecturers who say they support John Mahama, right? An open letter from the University of Ghana lecturers to Ghanaians, vote for change on December 7. Fellow Ghanaians, we, the University of Ghana lecturers for John Mahama and the National Democratic Congress, in the 2024 elections, numbering about 250 drawn from various schools, centers, institutes, and departments across the university, recognize that our beloved nation stands at a crossroad. It is very soul trembling in the face of unprecedented decay. As we approach the pivotal December 7, 2024 elections, we feel compelled to raise our voices and urge you, the people, to respond to the clarion call for the change. For too long, we have borne witness to the systematic erosion of our cherished institutions, the dimming of hope in the eyes of our youth, and the unraveling of the social fabric that once held our nation together. Our Ghana, once a beacon of progress and prosperity, now reels from the devastating blows of economic mismanagement, systemic corruption, and the deliberate dismantling of the very foundation upon which we built our dreams. Consider the stark realities that confront us. Our once mighty currency, the symbol of our national pride, has been brought to its knees, leaving our people struggling to make ends meet. Our water bodies, the lifeblood of our communities, lie devastated, robbing our people of the most basic of necessities. Our pensioners, the very backbone of this nation, have been stripped of their dignity, their hard-earned savings ravaged by the greed of the few. Our indigenous financial institutions, the pillars of our economic independence, have been deliberately collapsed, leaving our youth to wander the streets in search of non-existent jobs. Our healthcare system gasps for survival, while our educational infrastructure crumbles before our very eyes, betraying the promise of a brighter future for our children. The architect of this national tragedy now seeks your mandate to continue their reign of destruction. But we, the custodians of knowledge and truth, cannot remain silent. Our academic integrity and our commitment to the betterment of our beloved Ghana compel us to speak out, to stand as the conscience of our society. Next page. And these are, and if I get one from university lecturers for Nanado and Baumia, read it. To build it for our generations to come. This is a Ghana that has been betrayed, a Ghana that has been robbed of its integrity and its promise. But fellow Ghanaians, the power to reset our course lies in your hands. John Mahama of the NDC. Okay, so we start. We have seen at first hand the dimming of opportunities. No, we've read this already, right? This is not Ghana we dreamed of. The Ghana we fought for, the Ghana we vowed to build for our generations to come. This is a Ghana that has been betrayed, a Ghana that has been robbed of its dignity and its promise. But fellow Ghanaians, the power to reset our course lies in your hands. John Mahama and the National Democratic Congress present not just an alternative, but a vision of restoration and hope. The party's pledge to introduce a 24-hour economy is a bold reimagining of our nation's potential, while its proven track record is championing improved free senior high school education, demonstrates a commitment to sustainable development. This election is not about partisan politics. It is about justice for the 8 innocent souls whose lives were tragically cut short in 2020. It is about creating a Ghana where our nurses and teachers no longer need to seek greener pastures abroad. A Ghana where trust in our institutions resolved and restored and the dignity of our citizenship. And is reclaimed. To our security services, we say your allegiance is to the Constitution, not to any individual or party. Your integrity is the cornerstone of our democracy, and it must remain inviolable. To every Ghanaian, we urge you to document any irregularities your witness and use your phone and record evidence of electoral malpractices. Be vigilant, but remain peaceful. Be firm, but steadfast in your commitment to the rule of law. Fellow Ghanaians, we anticipate the question, why have we, as university lecturers, chosen to step beyond the comfortable confines of academic neutrality? The answer lies in the sacred trust we hold as guardians of knowledge and truth. When a nation stands on the precipice of disaster, silence becomes not neutrality, but complicity. Our role as educators extends beyond teaching theorems and theories. We are tasked in nurturing critical thinking and moral courage in our students. How can we teach ethics while turning a blind eye to the wholesale looting of our nation? How can we lecture about good governance while watching our democracy crumble? The ivory tower was never meant to be a fortress of isolation, but a lighthouse guiding society through darkness. Our academic credentials are not mere decorations. They carry with them the responsibility to distinguish truth from falsehood, progress from regression, hope from despair. When we see a leader and a party whose vision aligns with the prosperous Ghana we envision, we can tell, and our conscience demands that we speak this truth plainly. We have chosen to name John Mahama and the NDC not out of partisan fervor, but because the evidence of their superior vision and commitment to Ghana's restoration is clear and compelling. Our endorsement stems not from political allegiance, but from our professional judgment as analysts of policy and society. To remain neutral in times of moral crisis is to side with the oppressor. As Kwame Nkrumah taught us, the university must be the conscience of the nation. Today, the conscience calls us to speak, to guide, and to stand firmly on side of Ghana's redemption. The future of our nation hangs in the balance. As academics, we have dedicated our lives to nurturing the next generation of leaders. We implore you on December 7, 2024, let your thumb speak for Ghana. We know you can do it. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC to restore hope, rebuild trust, and reignite the Ghanaian dream. Ghana must rise again. Ghana will rise again. Let's make history together, signed by the University of Ghana lecturers for NDC, and the media contacts are there: Professor Nana Ama Brown Kluche, Dr. Abdul Karim Hakib, and Dr. Johnny Ando Atham. So all the lecturers all around, they are all part of this conversation, and they are all there. Now the question is this: if there are also lecturers for Dr. Baumia,
does it so J now J Penny Edema Fan TVG say embrace ye name be political highway in Munsem and Fango Abubano now so net the Koso and wo on my Ghana a yamanyo simbu. Na say on subscribe to FunnTV GH. Message over drop your subscription now. Wa share no for so inside can no mati a trending news in the headlines are a highway in so no mati munsem. I say once and kai bi as well. Or the comment section or na sabin chebi as well. Or comment section or na FunnTV GH mante. Bekan na yen so yama on why. But that's it. So J my FunnTV GH.